They weren't supposed to be attacking Earth. That was the first thought that passed through Counselor Vyrex's mind as the alarms rippled through the vast crystalline chamber of the Galactic Council. The chamber floated in vacuum at the heart of the Concordat Ring, a megastructure older than most civilizations present within it. 12 species occupied their designated platforms, floating biothrones, gravitic pillars, aqueous spheres, chitin lattices, each representing a power that spanned star systems, and all of them were staring at the same projection: Earth. A small, blue world at the edge of a relatively unremarkable spiral arm, a species barely 2 centuries into interstellar capability. Loud, emotional, unpredictable, human. They are breaching Sol's outer defense perimeter, the Council's Central Intelligence announced in its toneless harmonic voice. The image zoomed outward. Hundreds of warships poured from slipspace like a metallic plague. Their hulls were jagged and angular, bristling with spinal cannons. Black banners rippled across their hulls in electromagnetic patterns. The Zareth Dominion. Gasps, clicks, hisses, and low-frequency shockwaves filled the chamber. "This is impossible," hissed Representative Kill of the Scythari Collective. "The Dominion signed the armistice." "They signed it with us," Vyrex corrected quietly, "not with humanity." The silence that followed was heavy. The Dominion had never respected humans. To them, humanity was an anomaly, a so-called death world species from a high-gravity, predator-rich planet with volatile climate cycles and tectonic instability. By all galactic metrics, Earth should never have produced an advanced civilization. Yet it had, and humans had not merely survived. They had expanded, not aggressively, not in conquest, but steadily, relentlessly. Trade routes, terraforming initiatives, rapid industrial replication. Their population growth was alarming, their adaptation worse. "They believe Earth stands alone," murmured Councillor T. Vell of the Thrin Ascendancy. "They are not entirely wrong," replied Kill. Humanity had declined full military alliance status with the Council. They participated in trade accords, scientific exchanges, and diplomatic forums, but they kept their fleets under sovereign command. "They prefer self-reliance," Vyrex said. Below them, in the projection, the first flashes of light ignited. The Dominion fleet fired. Kinetic lances streaked across space, slamming into outer orbital platforms around Pluto. One station erupted in a silent bloom of debris. "They're targeting infrastructure," Tivel observed, "disabling long-range communications. They intend a decapitation strike, cripple Earth before reinforcements can mobilize." "Reinforcements?" Kill let out a rattling laugh. "From whom? No Council fleet is within 30 cycles." Another explosion. Neptune's defense ring buckled under sustained bombardment. The Dominion fleet advanced like a storm front. "Open channel to Earth," Vyrex ordered. Signal interference detected, jamming fields active. Of course they were. The Dominion was ruthless but not foolish. On the projection, small human ships emerged from hidden positions within the Kuiper Belt, sleek, modular vessels, clearly civilian hulls retrofitted with weapons. "They're mobilizing civilian fleets?" Kill said incredulously. "They don't separate civilian and military logistics the way we do. Everything is dual purpose." The first human counterstrike erupted from Mars' orbit. Missile swarms blossomed outward like metallic pollen, each one adjusting trajectory mid-flight, coordinating in perfect algorithmic harmony. Dominion point defense cannons lit up the darkness. Explosions peppered their formation. 3 Dominion cruisers shattered under concentrated kinetic impact. A murmur swept the council chamber. "Impressive," Vyrex admitted. But the Dominion numbers were overwhelming. For every cruiser lost, 10 more pushed forward. Saturn's shipyards came into view. Massive ringed dry docks, half-built hulls suspended in magnetic scaffolds. The Dominion fleet split.
half advanced, half broke formation and accelerated towards Saturn. "No," Tivel whispered. The Council watched in horror as brilliant beams carved across the void. Saturn's outer ring ignited. Shipyards detonated in a chain reaction of catastrophic force. Half-built vessels tore free, colliding with each other in expanding fields of debris. The human defensive line fractured. "This is slaughter," Kill said. Earth itself now filled the projection. Blue oceans, white cloud bands. Fragile. "Where is their main fleet?" Virex demanded. "Unaccounted for," the Council intelligence replied. Another Dominion wave surged inward. Mars fell silent. Orbital platforms disintegrated. Lunar defense grids flickered and died. Earth's global network lights dimmed under orbital bombardment. "They're not surrendering," Tivel noted. "No," Virex agreed. Even now, thousands of small human vessels launched from hidden bays across Earth's surface. Atmospheric-capable fighters clawed into orbit through trails of fire. They were outmatched, but they were not retreating. Dominion battleships entered low orbit. Targeting arrays began locking on major population centers. The Council chamber fell into stunned quiet. "This will destabilize the entire sector," Kill muttered. "Refugee waves, trade collapse, piracy." "Silence," Virex snapped. Something was happening. The projection flickered. For a fraction of a second, space itself distorted. Then, nothing. Every Dominion ship froze. Not metaphorically, literally. Their engines ceased, weapon systems powered down, energy signatures flatlined. Across the projection, hundreds of warships hung in space like dead metal husks. Confusion rippled through the Council chamber. "What?" Tivel began. Then it happened again. Space folded, not in the violent rupture of slipspace entry, not in the shimmer of warp translation. It folded like fabric being gently pinched, and from that fold, something emerged. One ship. It dwarfed everything else in orbit. It did not resemble known human design. It was smooth, curved, monolithic. Its hull was not metal, but something darker, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Energy readings spiked across the Council sensors. "Identify that vessel," Virex demanded. "Signature confirmed," the intelligence replied after a stunned pause. The entire chamber leaned forward. "Terran registry." Kill's voice cracked. "That is not possible." On the projection, the enormous vessel rotated slowly. A single beam extended, not a weapon, but a scanning array. It passed over the immobilized Dominion fleet. One by one, Dominion ships began to disassemble. Not explode, disassemble. Hull plating separated at the molecular level. Weapon systems detached, reactor cores shut down and drifted free. Within seconds, what had been a fleet was nothing more than floating scrap. No survivors, no escape pods. Gone. Silence. The enormous vessel transmitted a signal. The Council's communication arrays automatically decoded it. It was not a threat, it was a statement. A single sentence. "You mistook restraint for weakness." The chamber trembled with low-frequency shockwaves of disbelief. "That vessel," Tivel whispered, "could annihilate a sector." "Yes," Virex said quietly. Below them, on Earth's damaged infrastructure, flickered back to life. Hidden defense grids reactivated. Deep space sensors pulsed outward. And then the projection zoomed out further, far beyond the Sol system, at the edge of the heliopause. Ships. Thousands of them. Human ships. Not the patchwork civilian conversion seen earlier. Warships. Massive. Coordinated. Waiting. "They never deployed their main fleet," Kill breathed. "No," Virex replied. "They were waiting." "For what?" Tivel asked. Virex's gaze remained fixed on the projection. "For confirmation." Across the stars, human fleets began to move. Not towards Council space, not towards neutral systems, but towards Dominion territory. Slipspace ruptures opened like wounds across the map, precise, strategic, calculated. The Dominion had gambled on a swift decapitation. They had failed. And now, they're counterattacking, Kill whispered. The monolithic vessel in Earth orbit pivoted toward deep space. Its engines did not flare. Space simply bent around it, and it vanished. The council chamber was deadly still. They're attacking Earth, Virex murmured, almost to himself. He corrected the statement as Dominion border systems began to go dark one by one. No, they attacked Earth. And now, as entire Dominion fleets disappeared from the star map in expanding spheres of silence, and now, he said, as the entire Dominion fleet disappeared from the star map in expanding spheres of silence,